the summer of the underdogs, though. You know, Netherlands, Germany, France, they're all out in the Euro. Italy's still in, but we've seen a lot of underdogs overcome great odds recently. Can it happen as well here to one of those two guys? Starting in the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing as the Blue Zerg, representing Italy and Team Clash, it is Reynor.
And in the upper right, our Oceanic representative is going to be, from Legacy Esports, Probe. Love a bit of PvZ, Todd, especially as long as we don't have to cast like 10 series of it in a row, which sometimes happens. But definitely a fun matchup, and that, you know, a matchup that can really get very aggressive very quickly. And I know Probe especially really likes sometimes to mix up the builds. And in this matchup, you know, you can throw out a 2-base all in, you can fake that third. I do feel like we maybe see a bit of that from Probe in this series, just to try and get an edge over Reynor. We saw him with that proxy robo against Maru earlier. Yeah. It feels like that's going to be his approach going up against all of these Titans in this group.
Yeah, it's really hard against Zerg, though. Like, you know, against Terran, technically, they're going to have a harder time scouting for that kind of stuff. But against Zerg, you know, they have Overlords. They can scout around the map with Lings a lot better. And they're really good at sniffing out this kind of build headed their way. So on his way to victory, Probe in the Oceania, rest of Asia, DreamHack Summer, he met against Demi early on, the Indian Zerg. And on Ox side, he actually went for his targets, Oracle into Void Ray, and then into Blink. And that was the one map that he dropped. So could be maybe a little bit worrying if maybe he struggles a little more on that. I think that was Reynor's map pick as well. He's just going to have to be playing really good here. Oh, no more attacking your own War Prism, Probe, here if you want to have a chance.
No more attacking your own War Prism. And can we just mention that result on the screen? Lambo 2-0 Trap?
Wow.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Lambo, hey, you know, Lambo actually has really good performances against the Koreans in ZVP, I feel, a lot of the time. And I could have seen Lambo winning that, but 2-0, that's a statement.
Is Trap the France? I kept hearing in the Euro, France is going to win it all and stuff.
Wow, that's a heck of a result. That just that's a stunner. Just as we get this series started over here, if you want to follow that action, it's on the B stream. As over here, we have a nice plain opener and a Twilight first. So probably going to mix up a lot from that series he played against Demi in the regular season. Twilight opener, pretty much 9 times out of 10 is going to mean Glaives. There's been a couple people who've been a bit crazy lately and have even said, you know what, I'm going to put down a Dark Shrine, go for the Archon drop, and most people are like, why would you do that? Because it's just not really a good build anymore. Robo goes down. I still fully expect this to be Adepts. There's only 2 workers in each gas, so looking like Glaives to start us off.
Yeah, that was one of the builds also that Probe used when he played against Demi, and he won that game very convincingly. Just swapped in a lot of Adepts, killed a bunch of stuff. Like if Zerg messes up even just a little bit, if you have just a few units too few, then you just take too much damage, fall behind, and then it's almost unrecoverable entirely. But yeah, this Overlord getting some great scouts. Yeah. By the way, I feel like we need to repeat it. Trap is out of the tournament.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Last place in his group as well. He lost to Scarlet initially, then dropped now against Lambo. Sets up that Shopify Rebellion ZVZ. Like I say, if you want to catch up with that, it's on the B stream. I mean, that's a banger because while Lambo has to be the favorite there, playing against Scarlet is never easy. She always has some tricks up her sleeve.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah, it's a heck of a result, right? Remember when Dream was like,
yeah, he was like, I don't want to play
Trap.
Yeah, he needs to take first, so I don't have to play him. But he's the one that took first without even playing Trap. I guess it worked out
Mastermind.
Pretty well for him.
Too good to be true. As there is that Glaives coming up. I feel like this Glaive started almost a little late. I'm not sure if he's trying to somehow fake it out against the Overlord or so. You're not starting it for so long. Because even if you Chrono Booster right now, after your first warp in, you're not quite going to have Glaives. And of course, you do have a bit of shade in time. But it feels like he's going to have maybe even 2 warp ins before Glaives is done, especially with no Chrono Boost on it. So I don't really like this time for Probe. Usually you're warping in right now and going with 8 Adepts. And that's just not really the case here.
Yeah, Reynor's cutting walkers. I almost want to say early, but this might be the perfect time here. He's got 38 right now. He's only making units. He's really respecting this attack, and he needs to. It's so dangerous of an attack. You need to defend in multiple places at once because of the shade potential. There's so many Queens already in position. The Creep's going to help as well for the extra vision and movement.
I know this is all about the Adepts here right now, but there is a supply block for Probe as well across the map. And again, with no Glaives right now, Reynor's going to jump on this and take the fight. because there's a supply block, Probe can't start an Immortal in case this turns into a counterattack. That's something to maybe watch out for coming out of this. A few extra Adepts warp in. He has just done nothing with this first wave. He does get some Adepts in the main, but Roaches are there ready, and that's just a perfect defense from Reynor. No damage taken at all, pushing these Adepts back, and he's looking like the world champ at the moment.
Yeah, he did cut walkers pretty early, remember, so he was a few walkers behind, but immediately as he saw that he was going to be held and he was doing well in the fight, he immediately started like something like 8 drones. So now Reynor is called back up, he's already on that triple hatchery. The Nexus did go down maybe a little late, and there's actually nothing in position here to defend, so that probe will go down.
Yeah, he's still got, I mean, he has one Immortal building, but otherwise he's warped in all of the Adepts on this other side of the map, just attempting to make their way into these bases and just trying to find an opening. But Reynor's continued defense has been great, and usually, like so often, it happens where you defend the first wave and then it just is the 2 Adepts that slip by in the third, the 2 Adepts in the Prism in the main, they actually can just get 5 to 10 drones, and that's usually enough. But Reynor has had that consistently good defense, not letting it slip at all.
Yeah.
And that does just make this, I mean, now you've still got the Adepts as probe, which is nice, but they really get devalued the further that this game goes on.
I feel like countering a potential Spire here would be really hard after the way things went down. You know, he's going into Immortals because he's worried about an attack on the ground with like Roaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few Roaches actually on the way. So I guess Reynor did take the extra Extractors a little bit late. Like only now did 4 extra ones finish on his natural and third base. So he's not walking with a ton of gas yet. Eventually he might add that if he wants to. Like we've seen him often go for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility, as he has just gone to 68 workers, and it feels like right now he's just going to spam Roaches, right? Let that gas stack up, and then boom, like 10 Ravages at once, Queens start moving. I mean, he's actually just preparing for this attack maybe even, which as more Adepts have warped in from Probe, it's an eventuality that he gets aggressive. It is just a lot of Adepts. I don't believe the Immortals are here with this attack at all. There are 2 of them. Where are they at? They are coming across the map. They're just trailing a little bit behind. So they're on their way over. I mean, this attack is scary, but it's not all in. There's a Robo Bay behind this. Yeah. There's 3 probes building at a time. But if Reynor once again just holds and doesn't really take damage, maybe the 4th gets cancelled. I mean, that was actually a kill, right? No cancel. But yeah, I mean, if you don't lose any units here, I still love this for Reynor because it feels like you're about to build up into one massive attack just into Adepts that still just aren't really going to provide a defense.
Yeah, Probe's not doing too bad though, like cancelling that 4th base. If you can be on 3 bases against 3, it's obviously really nice. Obviously the counter attack now is going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
but he's going into Blink Stalkers, like he can get more Immortals. Reynor with a big supply lead here. Look at double the army.
Double the army. That's what I'm worried about, Tuck, because it's not just double the army, it's double a very bad army for the Probe, right? Like 2 Immortals. If he had an extra couple of Immortals behind this, I'd kind of be feeling it, but it's just so many Adepts. Reynor's about to have +1 finish, and he is moving in. I mean, the batteries, the stack defense isn't even here because Probe's been on the offensive all game, and now that that has swung around, let's see if he can somehow make this happen. Batteries are finishing up. If Reynor can just find a couple of the pylon kills, that could be huge. Crows of Baal's already going down. He's just targeting down battery after battery at the moment, and as more Roaches stream on in, it's just those 2 Immortals trying to hold this off, and it really looks as though the rest of these units are kind of continuing to drop. I mean, Probe can keep these Immortals alive for days. He's about to finish up +1, but at the end of the day, there just isn't that much left for him past those 2 Immortals.
Yeah, wasn't there a Disruptor on the way here? Where's that guy? You're needed.
He's stuck? He's stuck on their wall. You can just see him on the edge of your screen. He was stuck behind a Stalker. I mean, I'm not sure that necessarily would have changed things. An extra Disruptor shot if Reynor could have just dodged it, but it definitely would have helped a little bit as, the Immortal goes down too. And yeah, Reynor is just going to make minced meat of Probe. As unfortunately, that really is just... There's just nothing left here. So, you know, this really was a game from Probe where he was aggressive, and to a fault, right? Like, he just never got the damage done, and he had no preparation for Reynor to make his own way across the map.
Yeah, I think he just didn't see the attack coming somehow, even though usually against Reynor, you know, if you do one of those attacks, and, you know, we've seen that in his recent games against Trap as well, you kill 10 drones, you can expect the March of Queens to go and attack you on the other side of the map. So doesn't need to be pushed too much to finally go for the attack. He's not one of the Zergs that will just be like, okay, I just want to drone up, sit back, you've killed some drones, I'm going to remake them. No, he'll attack into you if you do enough damage. And it felt like that was enough damage to force him to attack here. Canceling the 4th base, being annoying with the Immortals in the main base. Reynor, you know, he feels like he can go for the attack, goes for it. And those shield batteries, if they had been there in the first place, we might have been looking at a different game, but The Disruptor getting stuck as well. If that guy was there, you can get a money shot sometimes and really like save your game.
It's that combination, right? A Super Battery would have bought you more time with more units. The Adepts survive longer. You don't have to micro the Immortals as much. And then if the Disruptor's there, you push the Roaches back a bit. That's more time you're not taking damage. It's all of those things that do add up to be a defense. And like we said, just Probe really wasn't quite ready for it. You concerned I don't have a party hat on? I get it, Todd. I've had a party hat on all day. It's a bit weird with me not having one. I see how it is. Is it really Wardy without the party hat now?
There's a standard you need to live up to at this point.
I'm just going to have to order like 100 party hats off Amazon, change it every day on stream.
You write the name of the subs on it.
Subscribe today, get your name on the party hat. You can be the party king. Now, this first defense was just great. I really think that Glaives was late as well, really weakened the attack when he was able to get on the Queens. If you have Glaives, that might be 1 or 2 more Queens dead, and that might just throw Reynor off as well.
Yeah, Reynor, this attack had to do a lot of damage here. If this is somehow even just barely held, and let's say like Probe even lost a few workers, like let's say 5 to 10, that would be okay for him because he would be on 3 bases against 3. And just have the higher tech, the higher, I guess, equal upgrade in this case. He was almost on +1 attack here. That finished as he lost most of his army. So very unfortunate. He did put up a pretty decent fight, I would say, though, against Reynor. You know, like most Protosses, like, I'm pretty sure I'd kill 0 units if I played against him. So that wasn't too bad, but just, you know, he was missing a little something.
I just still feel like he just didn't get the damage done. Like, imagine he even just found like 5 drones or 10 drones, right? Yeah. You just soak that up, you slow Reynor down that little bit more. I feel like if you can just do those few extra things, everything else was maybe there to make a game out of it. So yeah, it was promising from Probe, definitely. As we go into game 2, we're going to Blackburn. Not sure if we've seen Blackburn today. It's a map that's often in best of 3s avoided, especially TVZ. PVZ, sometimes you actually do see it. It still plays a bit weird because there's mainly just one attack path. It's very difficult to really punish. What we might see here from Reynor is he might get a little cheeky, might put down a hatcher on the other side of the map, take a gold base. There are a few possibilities for Reynor to make this game a little bit wild. And we know that that's kind of what Reynor likes to do sometimes.
Yeah, against Probe, though, does he really need to do that?
He doesn't need to, but I say this against everybody he plays against in Open Cups, and I'm like, there's no way he needs to, and then he does. As we kick this off, Reynor's definitely up to something, but first of all, in the bottom right-hand side of the map, our red Protoss player is Probe.
His opponent in the bottom left going with the early pull, representing Team Clash, it's Reynor.
So maybe not as crazy as a gold base, but still something a little bit offbeat. I mean, 12 pool a lot of the time is a micro check. You know, if you can micro properly against as a Protoss, you should come out ahead. If you can out micro as the Zerg, you can take the lead. You can force an extra gate. Their Nexus will be delayed. If you can kill a gateway, usually in that situation, you get into a great spot. So we'll see how this goes. As Probe obviously is right now not knowing about it because he's blocking the low ground hatch. As he comes up to the main, he will figure out just what's going on. At least he's going to see this drone coming down now. It's going to fake the third base. Probe should go up and try and scout, but now he sees this drone turn back around. And the fact that this drone isn't off to build a hatchery should kind of start to tell Probe, what are you actually kind of up to? Like, this isn't quite the norm.
Yeah, Demi did try in one of his games against Probe to go for Ling Rush or Ling Pressure, and Probe defended really well. That was one of the games that he won, so I guess good on him that he scouted this early. Now he gets a real opportunity to, you know, try and get ahead from the get-go. If you can get it perfect, you know, if you face that build many times, you've watched the replay and you know exactly everything that you need to get at the perfect time, this is a good opportunity to get even just slightly ahead in terms of the economy side of things. But Reynor all alike will know every possible scenario here from there.
Yeah, I mean, the setup's right from Probe. You're going to get that Zealot in the wall. You're going to dance that Zealot to try and stop a gateway or anything from dying here. That's pretty much the goal, and the aim right now is that Probe is going to be on the wrong side of the wall. So Probe goes down. Now the Zealot is kind of walled out for a moment too. So Reynor is going to put the Lings on the gateway, starts up his hatchery, his drones and a Queen behind it. And obviously Probe is still waiting for that Cybercore to finish to build an Adeptor, so to really help push this back. The great thing about 2 gates on this defense is that you can go double Adept after double Zealot, and then you have counterattack potential as well. He really needs to save this gateway, though, and that's where Reynor knows he's going to try and do it. So he jumps on the Zealots, and Probe was kind of move commanding for a moment there, so both Zealots go down, and this is going to be bad because just getting rid of those Zealots removes the counterattack. Now this gateway continues to fall. I mean, that's definitely a dead gateway, and yes, the Adept will clean up in the end, but it's a huge, huge loss for Probe. That gateway is just so vital to keep alive.
Yeah, this hasn't been a good day so far for Probe. It doesn't get any harder than meeting Maru round 1 and then running into Reynor in the lower brackets. And then you got to feel for him, you know, like everything that they're throwing at him, it looks like it's counterable, but then there's a few mishaps here and there, and in this case, those Zealots.
I mean, this group is just ridiculous, right? This is like 3 of the top 4 from IEM Katowice, and Probe's in there with them, right? Like, that's just brutal.
Yeah.
How can you draw this group of all? I mean, it just hurts. The fact that one of these players, Reynor or Zest, would end up going out of this group at this stage as well as crazy too. We'll talk about that next series, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a tough draw for Probe, who, you know, it's not over yet. Reynor making a few more lings, making sure he is safe. Probe just going to set up for the Stargate, though, get that underway. But you can just see how late the Nexus is after all of this as well, right? Just a few things that are off from normal. And yeah, he's going to struggle that a little bit. I mean, the fact Reynor's already up and equal on workers, that doesn't usually happen in PvZ for, like, you know, another 10 workers from now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really crazy, like, the advantage Reynor gets from killing off that gate and straight into a Void Ray, because Probe is kind of terrified. Maybe something's coming his way aggressive.
And you might think, you know, like, oh yeah, he had 2 Zealots, he could have done so much better and all that. But the thing is, Reynor's execution here was great. He made just enough Zerglings that this push could be as successful as it was. If he had cut just a little bit before and went back into drones, then 2 Zealots would have dealt with those links super easily, and then we're looking at a very different game. He made just enough Zerglings that he knew that even if there was double Zealot, he could get a full surround, kill them, maybe even kill the gates, and be in the position that he's in now, where he was able to drone for quite a bit. He goes into a Baning Nest, and we got 14... Okay, actually, he cancels. 14 more links on the way, though. That's
interesting. I wonder if seeing the Void Ray... Okay, he's going to rebuild the Baning Nest. I wonder what happened there, because that doesn't seem quite right. I was going to say, he's kind of making a fair amount of Zerglings, which, you know, obviously counts on that third base. The Bane Nest, when he's seen the Void Ray, to me sort of suggests that he wants to bust through and really just break into the natural and say, I can overwhelm you. There's an Oracle as well, though, which is going to make that a little bit more difficult. Oracles can kill Lings super quickly, of course, limited by their energy. That Oracle might have to start defending right now, though, but 2 Adepts choked up. Reynor not going to fight it. Back away, but 20 more Lings, Todd. He is absolutely committing to this Bane bust.
Yeah, and the fact that Reynor is keeping his links across the map is keeping Probe really worried. There is no way for Probe to really scout right now. He's finally about to get his Oracle across the map.
No
but ideally, he would like to see the entire production of links, the Baneling Nest. Okay, he checks the third base with the Oracle, sees that there is no drones here yet. It's too early to fully realize what's happening. He's going to check the expansion, and he sees the Baneling Nest.
I think Probe seeing the third with no drones should tell him a lot, because why would there be no drones there? Would you rally your drones from the third elsewhere? He's going to go up this ramp, and there is the initial force field. What the Bane's going to do now, they're going to hold back. You're going to need another sentry here. Yeah, he needs another force field really, really soon. Banes are going to come to the front again, an attempted warp into the gateway, but that's such low HP, he'll get busted down, and the Ling Bane is in the natural. Oracle comes back. It's going to go for the Banelings, which run for the mineral line. 2 of them, 3 of them get in. Probes are dropping, and Todd, it is a disaster here for Probe. 2 Void Rays just kill these Lings so slowly, and that looks really bad.
The floodgates are open. Reynor, known for his Zergling attacks, gets through, and Probe is eliminated here from this group. Reynor will get a chance at a rematch.